Welcome back to Doc Shows You How. We're going to do a variant of my last video, those calm walls, and we're going to make a laser gate inspired from Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe and tell somebody about this. Try to make one of these things. Here we go, to the table.
So just like the calm walls, you're going to need some plastic. This is from that same frame that we used on the last project. You only need a little bit of it though, so a little bit more than 1.5 inches, because we want this to end up being a height that matches well, about chest high, with the figure. So maybe just a little bit higher than chest high. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. Alright, so I'm going to point something out here. It broke just a little off here on this side. Doesn't matter. A lot of that side is likely to have some amount of coverage because of the little gate end piece on that side. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this plastic, put on the tape, scrape in the lasers, air quotes, lasers, and move this right along. Okay, so my approach here is I'm going to measure the distance, and then exactly down the middle is where I'm going to put the first line, and then in the middle of the half up and the middle of the half down, so I get my 3 lines evenly spread across the whole distance. Alright, and there we have it. So here I think I'm going to use 2 of those finger lights this time to get that to be a little bit more obvious there. And so I'm going to go ahead and just notch in a little bit on each side so that those can be in there a little bit, just a little bit further. Alright, so I decided to put the switches both on the same side of this laser gate, and then so it doesn't stand up terribly well, so we're going to go ahead and take a bit of foam core. I'm just going to glue a piece of it along there to help it stand up, and then same thing on that side. Okay, so there it is. Now in the movie, in the Obi-Wan series, it's got this weird little fork shape that kind of comes in a little bit, and they're kind of a boxy thing around that. So I'm just going to kind of build something like it. I'm not necessarily trying to do exactly that, and just kind of an impression of it. It's just similar enough for the game table. Okay, so I dressed this up a little bit. I've got 45-degree angles. I used my hole punch to get this shape, and then the regular hole punch, like office hole punch, to do that one here. I also tried something a little different on this than my previous ones. Rather than just leave the switch exposed and just paint it, I decided to put this entire panel on each side on the switch, so that what happens is they slide into place and then they're lit up. And then so and then you've got your trooper there to kind of give you your scale. And ultimately I did put it on a big, it's about 1 inch wide tongue depressor or stir stick I had, just to give it that solid base. I'll cover that with a little bit of sand here as we finish this project out. And I actually am pretty happy with where this is at, with the little bit of details it has. It doesn't need to have too much, just something to grab some paint. Alright, and there's the base coat of black on there. I know I skipped the step of taping it, but still, you guys have seen that before. So yeah, base coat of black on all the sides. So I'm going to go with just a teeny amount of silver and gray interchangeably, and just a little bit to make these details pop a little bit. I really don't want to do too much. Just very simple is very efficient here. Those hard angles scream imperial. No, it's not exactly like the one in, yeah, you can see there I slipped a little bit. It's not exactly like the one in the show, but it's pretty good. Definitely feels Star Wars and imperial. And so we'll be right back. So I'm going to call that done with the paint job. I'll move on to just a little bit of sand on the base of that, but ultimately this is more or less it. So a little bit of dry brushing, make those details pop. And again, I've got these walls that are on the switch itself. No, there's no way to change that battery. When they die, they die. And maybe it's just worth a little bit more time to build another one if that happens to you. Anyway, that's that step. I will go ahead and add in that little bit of sand.
And a couple quick shots of it on the table. I want to thank you for watching another episode. Do go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. Give this project a try. Have an amazing day.